You know, the man they called Junior was a popular player, coach, and hockey supporter. He drew a lot of interest throughout the years for his efforts and became a member of the Nova Scotia Sports Wall of Fame for, again, marked professionalism in all aspects of his life. What was kind of strange, too, as well, ladies and gentlemen, not too many players from Sydney, Nova Scotia has ever played for the Montreal Canadiens. That's one distinction for him. And he was Lebanese in the communities of Nova Scotia. Sydney had a nice Lebanese population, great people, and he's a credit to the various people that came from Lebanon to help build Canada throughout the years. Now, John Hanna, born April 5th, 1935 in Sydney, played in the NHL from 58 to 68 and WHA in their inaugural season and in 1973. He was one of the first players again in the NHL to be of Lebanese descent. Now, born in the beautiful community of Sydney, well known for its hockey players, coaches, and teams throughout the years, you can do worse than say you got your start in Sydney because everybody respects it, just like sort of Frankton or St. John or Moncton in New Brunswick. Now, he played junior hockey for the Trois-Rivières Aigle and the Chicoutimi Saguenay before signing a pro contract. He played 198 games in the NHL with the Rangers, the Canadiens, and the Flyers, and of course, he was an original Flyer in 67-68. He also counted 66 games in the WHA with the Crusaders, but the majority of his career, of course, was spent in the minors with the Quebec Aces of the AHL. This was after the Senior League Aces and the Seattle Totems of the Western Hockey League. Now, the defender, after retiring from competitive play, was hired for several brief coaching stints in the AHL. He also served as head coach of the Cleveland Crusaders of the WHA for part of the 75 season. Now, unfortunately, he passed away from cancer on November 20th, 2005. Now, his time in Nova Scotia was quite interesting. He played with the Sydney Bruins of the CPJHL in 54 and also skated for the North Sydney Falcons in the Memorial Cup that the campaign with 2 points in 5 postseason matches. Now, with Trois-Rivières in 55, 9 points in 42 regular season games, 3 goals, and 9 playoff contests. Now, he played the EHL the next year with the Philadelphia Ramblers, where he had 5 points in 28 games, but he also put up 17 points in 40 games with Chicoutimi. Now, at the Saguenay in 57, 1 goal, 14 assists for 15 points, and then with the Trois-Rivières Reds of the QSJHL, 3 goals, 25 assists for 28 points. And that got him a short stint with the Providence Reds and, of course, all the way to the Rangers for the next 3 seasons. 59, his rookie season in the NHL, 11 points in 70 games, including 1 goal, showing some grit with 83 minutes and penalties. 1960, he had 12 points in 61 games, including 4 counters, 87 minutes and penalties. 61, he found himself out of the Ranger system despite 9 points in 46 games and played with the Springfield Indians for most of the key campaign with 4 points in 18 contests. 62, he found himself back in Quebec with the Quebec Aces, 17 assists in 65 games. 63, he had 28 points in 78 games, including 7 assists. Now, 64, he had a cup of water with Montreal, 6 games with 2 minutes and penalties. But that campaign, he spent the majority of the year with Quebec, 18 points in 58 games and 4 points in their playoff run in 9 games. 65, 34 points in 70 games, 9 goals. 66, 26 points in 69 games, 4 goals. And, of course, Quebec was an affiliate of the Flyers into the expansion years. 1968, he had 15 games with the Flyers and also 13 points in 24 games. Now, when he made it to Seattle Totems, his goal and point totals went through the roof. From 1969 to 72, he had 52, 42, 60, and 15 points on 25, 9, 20, and 5 goals. So, again, but 72, he only played a half season. Now, with the Crusaders in their opening campaign, he had 26 points in 66 games. Also played with Jacksonville Barons of the AHL in 74 with six points in 11 games, 2 goals, and wrapped up his minor pro career with the Syracuse Eagles in 75 with one game. So WHA totals 26 points in 66 games. NHL totals 198 contests, 6 goals, 26 assists, 32 points, and 206 minutes and penalties. Now, as the coach with the Crusaders, 14, 19, and 1, 34 games, and of course, unfortunately, missed the playoffs. Now, taking a closer look at his breakdown on internethockeydatabase.com. Jacksonville Barons in 74, head coach, 24, 4, 44, and 8. They missed the postseason. With the Syracuse Eagles in 75, that was two big teams he coached with that year. Of course, with Cleveland for 34. With the Eagles, he was 11, 14, and 4. Tidewater Sharks in 76 of the SHL, 24, 34, and 14. 77 with the Springfield Indians of the AHL, 12 and 24. And his last coaching campaign was with the North Iowa Huskies of USHL, with a win and a loss in 2 games in 87. Now, WHL Awards, 69, he won the George Leader Cup and the Hal Laco Cup. And in 71, he won the Hal Laco Cup. So a very distinguished career in the WHL. So a lot of people remember Junior because to see such a highly respected player like him, Rangers had a fan base as well back in the day, because of Eddie Jackman, Gilbert, and everybody else. But his rise from Sydney, Cape Breton, all the way up to the top echelons of the WHL, the NHL, and WHA is something that didn't happen every day back in the 50s. It was a long road to come from New Brunswick or Nova Scotia or PI to make it all the way to Original Six, as we call it. So he has my respect, and he's spoken of fondly. He's missed quite a bit. He comes up in conversation once in a while, like with Sidney Crosby, ironically named Sidney Crosby. When Sidney made the NHL, there was a list of Nova Scotia players, like a small CBC kind of documentary, and it came up because he. They always say someone got a haircut you can set your clock to, like Johnny Unitas. Like, he was a handsome guy, but he had that beautiful kind of 1960s brush cut. A handsome guy like that. And I know one thing for sure, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of TVs were turned on when the Rangers played Montreal in the early 60s on a Saturday night on Hockey Night in Canada to see their hometown boy taking on the Habs, and of course playing with them later on. And, being original flyer, that's only, I think, 25 or 30 players. So that's a great distinction as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing at our Vintage Hockey Podcast, let us know in a like, comment, subscribe, or share. Bye.